following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Sitting down and designing, where every man in my thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party, let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Bitch, I'm your wanna be, Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out to Jimmy Star's.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. See, they can see your shirt over here.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. We got a really fun show for you guys today. I'm going to make it a little brighter. How's that? Better? We're going to have a really great time. We have Jose Santiago Jr. coming on. He's been on before many years ago. Super cool guy. Before COVID, we had him on. We met him at a premiere in LA. And then we have special effects makeup, creature effects designer Vincent J. Guastini. It's going to be a blast. I hope everybody had a great New Year's. Ours was very mellow, but before we keep speaking, let's just say hi to our cool, outrageous man about town, Ron Russell.
Okay. When you get to be my age, you get certain entitlement. And one of the entitlements is to complain. I have a sty in this eye. So I didn't have a stroke if I look like I'm one eye lower. Could you imagine at my age getting a sty in my eye? Also, my knee is killing me. The one I fell on, I didn't need to fall on my knee, having knee problems. So right now I'm in a lot of pain with the sty and the broken knee. But, you know, the show must go on. And I certainly will. So if I'm not up to par, folks, and I seem a little bit under the weather, it's because, yeah.
I'm under the weather.
I'm under the weather. So we're going to have a fun show just the same.
Absolutely. We got a few people starting to join us in the chat room. What's up? What's up? Let's say hi. Stefan Bell is in the chat room.
Hey, Stefan.
Cindy Lady Lake is in the chat
Hey,
room.
Lady Lake.
Big Claudia is in the chat
Hey,
room. B, we're wishing you a happy 2023. I know the end of 2022 wasn't great for you. You were ill and not feeling well and all kinds of things, but we want to say that we wish you the best always and hope that this year is a terrific year for you. And New Year's, we sat home and watched movies. It was nice and relaxed.
It was the loveliest New Year's ever. We don't drink, so we didn't do cocktails, but we had juices, and we had steak and potatoes and asparagus and salad, and it was a lovely dinner that
and
we
pistachios.
made. What?
And pistachios.
And pistachio nuts for dessert. And we watched, I think, 3 or 4 movies, and then the New Year came in, and then we went to sleep. So it was a lovely, safe New Year. And I'm glad that it was safe for everybody I know, that we have not heard any bad stories from anyone. Everyone went out, partied, and got home safely. And for that, I'm very grateful and happy.
Absolutely. And Astros hung out with us along with
Brandy.
Astros,
say hello. Oops. Come on, Astro, it's your time. It's go on the air now. Turn around.
Astro,
look at the camera.
He's like, what are you doing?
Astro, look at the camera and say, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hey, hello. Is he not the cutest thing? I love this dog so much. He's with me all the time. No matter where I go, he is. He's like my best friend.
So look at the camera real quick and smile so B can grab a picture of us.
Wait. Don't do it. Sometimes she doesn't get it right.
Hey, everybody. So.
Wait, take it again. Not with my sty. How's this?
Oh, yeah. It's all good.
How's that one?
It's going to be a lot of fun. So we hope everybody is having a great start to their 2023. It's going to be a great year. We got lots of big stuff coming up and lots of big projects, so we're very excited about it. And
I'm making out with my dog. I'm so happy.
That's right.
This dog kisses me more than Jimmy.
Isn't that fabulous, though? So what did you guys do for...
He loves me. I love him.
What did you guys do for New Year's? Anything exciting? Let us know in the chat room. And I was going to say something. Well, let me do a commercial real quick. We want to thank everybody for tuning in every week. Our Christmas show and New Year's shows were both big hits, so thank you all our friends who participated and came on the show. You can listen to us and hear us on SoundCloud and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts and iTunes and Spotify and Amazon Music and YouTube and Google Podcasts and Radio Public and TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Prime. We're on about another 150 other platforms, but those are the ones pretty much everybody knows what they are. So please keep tuning in. We appreciate it.
And I thank all of you who have been on our show, who have written to us saying how happy you were and how wonderful it was and loving all the fun and the laughs that we had, and that you would love to come back again. And guess what?
You will.
Thank you
Also,
so much for your caring.
Cindy, Lady Lake Music, said that she cooked Italian dinner for New Year's, so she didn't go out either.
Oh, my shirt my daughters gave me, and it says Sundays are for sauce.
There you go.
Sauce is another word that Southern Italians use for gravy. Or actually, it's gravy they use. Sauce is, Northern Italians say sauce, Southern Italians say gravy. That's the difference.
We'll give a shout out to Dawn. Dawn's not in the chat room. She has a doctor's appointment, but she sends her love.
Oh, but back to you, Dawn.
So we love Dawn. And B. Claudia said that. And B. Claudia is in Germany. And Lady Lake, Stefan's in California. Lady Lake is in Florida. Wonder what the weather's like in Florida now.
It has to be better than here in Palm Springs. It stinks. It's 51 degrees and cloudy. It looks like rain. It's very cold. We're having the most ridiculous weather ever. But it's supposed to clear up before the weekend.
Our engineer Juan says it's 83 degrees in Florida, where they are in South Florida.
Oh, nice, 83. Here it's 51 or 60 by now, maybe 60. But it's a lousy, crummy day, which a lot of people enjoy because Palm Springs is always so damn hot with sunshine all the time. And, too much of anything is a bore. So it's nice to have bad weather so you appreciate the good weather. Like this weekend, it's going to be sunny and high in the 70s, and it's going to be wonderful. Right now, our temperature is the same as New York City. New York is having a heat wave. They're up there higher than us. I believe they're 61 right now.
Cindy says 84 degrees. B. Claudia says it's 53 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's raining in Germany.
So you got same as here. So
I wonder, and we'll ask our guest I think our guest is in Chicago. We'll ask him when he comes on in a minute what it's like there. It should be fun.
Well, since we go out to the whole world and over 5 million, 5 million people we do? We get 5 million people watching us. We have 5 million different climates, I guess, or whatever, how many countries do we go out to?
All of them. I think.
How many are there?
I think there's 178, but I'm not sure.
So 178 different countries have 178 different temperatures right now.
I might be wrong on that, so nobody hold me to that,
we don't
but
know.
it's something around there.
Listen, we're not we're entertainers. We're not professors. Yeah. We're far from, intelligentsia. We're just, simple folk.
Absolutely. All right, so I think Stefan says 5 to 8 million average per show.
What do you say?
5 to 8 million average per show.
Oh, see that, Stefan? You're so smart. And where are you? How come you haven't come to visit us? I miss your wife. She's so sweet. I love her. You're okay, but she's great. Yeah, you're okay too, Stefan. You're an old pal from a lot of years ago.
Actually, you guys, Stefan in the chat room has been probably one of my older friends, about 15, 16 years.
We know Stefan.
Back in the MySpace days. We met on MySpace, which I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember MySpace.
Ever since I know Jimmy, I know Stefan and his lovely wife, Tina.
Yes.
And Tina had the sweetest mother. Oh, my God. I think she was Vietnamese, right?
Yep.
This little tiny, itty-bitty, this big Vietnamese woman. But her English was poor, but her humor was wonderful. She was able to say things that cracked you up. Just lovely. Tina, your mother was divine, a really lovely woman.
So we're going to take a quick...
And that's what the apple didn't fall far from the tree, because you're just like your
fabulous.
Mother. You're as sweet as she was.
Actually, Lady Lake said she started PR on MySpace, too. That's so funny.
Who?
Lady Lake PR 17 years ago. Because Lady Lake, is a music promoter. And so
she started peeing on your show?
No, PR on MySpace.
MySpace.
She started peeing
from your show.
Okay. Anyway.
A lot of people use that expression when they laugh so hard. They say, oh, I'm peeing, they laugh. It's an old expression.
So you guys, a few weeks ago, we had Emblem 3 on. We're going to play a quick song. The name of the song is Sunset Boulevard. It's a live acoustic version. They played this on our show, but they didn't play the whole song. And then as soon as we get done with the song, we're going to bring on our first guest, Jose Santiago Jr., which is also known as the Latino Pacino.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have a good time. But please enjoy, you guys. Emblem 3, Sunset Boulevard, live acoustic. Here we go.
One, oh, five.
Let's take a trip to Sunset Boulevard in the city of stars. The city of blinding lights and starry eyes. I said, no, welcome to the city of angels. Oh, 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 oh. The city of angels. Oh, 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 oh.
I love my women like I love my juice. Naked, all natural, no preservatives or fakeness. I like my ladies like I like my Brady's and bunches. Got the 6-pack, I ain't talking about the crunches. Hit it till I quit it like Tyson's punches. That's how you gotta rock if you want to punch it. I swear, make it less busy. Buzz cute, Betty got me dolly dizzy. I'm lost in her eyes like, oh my God, where is she? Down here in SoCal, we getting busy in the city. Getting busy in the city.
Let's take a trip to Sunset Boulevard in the city of stars. Yeah, city of blinding lights and starry eyes. I said, no, welcome to the city of angels. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. City of angels. Whoa, oh, oh, oh.
A bright future reflects off my aviators. Here's a peace sign going out to all my haters. High five, keep done, no hurt hand when we get samples at Yogurtland. And we chill smooth, talk about Betty Blumby. Kill Bruce, play Call of Duty Zombies, yeah. Starting to get the best of me while she makes her mind up whether she wants me to wrestle.
Let's take a trip to Sunset Boulevard in the city of stars. Yeah, city of blinding lights and starry eyes. Welcome to the city of angels. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. City of angels. Whoa, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, you heard
Honestly, we could probably just punch in.
I don't mind just
Yay, everybody. So that's Emblem 3. I absolutely love those guys. They have a new album coming out in February, and I was so excited to have them on our show because they're kind of younger for our demographic, but I just like them so much, and we had a really fun time with them. That's your
And
phone.
their music, my phone? Oh, and their, I'm not answering it. And their music makes me want to dance, except if I did, I'd fall on my face. But anyway, yeah, they're fun.
They're a lot of
young
fun, you
kids
guys.
that are
Emblem
really
3.
going places. I hope
Oh,
that they,
absolutely.
they remind me sort of like the Beatles. I don't know why. Maybe that yeah stuff they were doing
Could be.
was kind of like the Beatles. Remember
like
the
Love 'Em.
Beatles?
Absolutely. All right, you guys. Now we're going to bring on our first guest.
The Beatles were from my time.
Let's see. Make sure we can hear him. Go ahead and bring him in, Juan. Hey!
Hello,
How
hello.
are you guys doing? How are you guys doing?
Oh, good. We can hear him good, too.
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Let me turn on some light here. How's that?
So
Yeah,
that's-
better.
So now you have a lot of time to tell us about a lot of things you've
Hold
done.
on, let's introduce him.
Oh, we have to do that first. Sorry.
Hold on,
Ron.
we're going to introduce him. All right, everybody.
Okay.
Now that we know we can hear him, we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the official Jose Santiago Jr., also known as the Latino Pacino. Hello and welcome back. Yay!
How you guys been?
Good. We're really good.
But
Missed
everybody
you guys, man. You know, the last couple of years has been like hell. I haven't been out to LA. It's like, yeah, why go out there if my buddies are all locked down?
Yeah, well, it was
Jose,
terrible.
Jose, when were you on? Do you remember? You remember?
Right before
COVID.
right
wasn't it?
before COVID,
Right?
yeah.
That year before 2019.
Yeah, right before COVID.
That wasn't that long ago, but a lot of stuff has happened to you since, I bet. Everybody knows about us. They want to hear about you.
Hold on, wait. Let's say we have a chat room starting to fill up with people. So first of all, say hi to everybody in the chat room.
How you guys doing? What's going on? Thank you guys for coming on.
And he says it's 40 degrees in Chicago. You're in Chicago, right?
45 minutes outside Chicago in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Okay. Oh, he's in Indiana.
Country,
Okay.
the country, you know me.
I played a nightclub years ago in Chicago, and we never really knew Chicago weather. And they booked us January 8th, I think it was, or 9th. Well, everybody in the cast was frozen to death. The winds were blowing. They had ropes up for us to get in and out of town.
Yes.
Snow started coming. It was a nightmare. And I said that's why they booked us, because they booked desperate performers in January. They wouldn't get Frank Sinatra there in January.
No. Or Dean Martin or any of them guys.
Or
They're
any
like,
of those
hell
people,
no.
or Peggy Lee or anybody, or Johnny Manthis. But they got our troupe because, we were nobodies. But we froze to death. So how do you handle that cold weather? I can't.
I'll tell you what. As you guys know, recently got engaged. And,
No, I was going to announce that. I know, but I don't know
What
if we
happened?
want to let the world know. So everybody,
What happened?
during Christmas, Jose got married to his girlfriend, which they're always on Facebook together with pictures and everything. Her name is Melinda, and so congratulations on your engagement! Yay!
Good.
Thank you.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Yeah, but Jose, you did a bad thing. You broke the hearts of a lot of ladies out there.
Well, I was single for 2 years and nobody came a knocking. So
Oh, baloney! You're so good looking. Are you kidding me? And that picture of you that you posted on our page is so sexy. You look like this wild, sexy cowboy. So no, that's a lot of baloney, Jose. You've had your share of ladies.
yeah,
But now, for all of you women out there, you're going to have to find somebody else to love because he's taken. But you know what? You can fantasize. Nobody,
you can always fantasize. You can look at the pictures and be like, oh, okay, hey.
nobody can get in your brain to know what you think.
That's right.
So tell me about the musica. What kind of musica you got going?
He's an actor. He's not
I
a
know,
music
but he has a
person.
guitar. He plays the guitar.
How do you know he has a guitar?
I know he plays the guitar.
Do you play
Yeah,
guitar?
I haven't played in a while, but yeah, I do a lot of 3 strings, the Spanish Puerto Rican type. It's just all acoustic. It's just strings,
So you're Puerto Rican. You're Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican, Mexican, African. I'm the fucking walking United
Well,
Nations.
I grew up with all Puerto Ricans in New York. I love and adore Puerto Rican people. My friend Manny Rivera was my buddy, and I used to go to his mother's house in the projects, in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And she used to make me fried bananas. I used to go nuts. And then I went.
Aren't they nice?
I was dating Gloria Hernandez, who was also, I think she was Filipino, Mexican, and Puerto Rican. Gorgeous girl with green eyes. And when I dated her, she had to lie because she was not allowed to go out with a boy without a chaperone. Oh, yeah, they were really old-fashioned. So I had an apartment then, and she came to my apartment and had to call her mother. So she said to me, put on Spanish music so my mother knows I'm in a Puerto Rican house. But I couldn't find Jose Feliciano, so I put on the soundtrack from Pride and the Passion, the Sophia Loren music, and the song was "Me bicho, no me quiero." So that's what we fed her. The mother caught on. Gloria got in trouble.
Oh, you got her in trouble there.
That's
Well,
right.
this is way back in 1956. Back in 1956, Hispanic people as well as Italian people did not allow their daughters to roam the streets. You were a putana or a puta,
Right.
and they didn't want putas for kids. So
No.
they watched their children with like hawks in my day. We were very respectful back in my day. We never got away with the stuff that people get away with today.
Oh, forget about it. Today, I mean, there's no holds barred. They're out there acting crazy. You know what? I tell my kids, I thank God for my kids, man. And yes, I was a mean dad, but I was a stern father. And
Good.
none of them are on drugs. None of them are in
Good.
prison. And you know what? If that makes me a bad dad, then I'll do it all over again because
Yes,
I see what these
Absolutely. I agree
Yes.
100%.
today. They're smacking their parents around. What the hell's going on?
I raised both my daughters alone, and I raised them.
Oh,
with
and
all-
beautiful daughters, by the way. Beautiful.
Thank you. And I raised them with my traditions, my Italian traditions. And they never did drugs. They never slept around. They're not trashy. Maybe they should have. They would have got a husband by now. Because good women don't seem to get married. The putas all get the best men. Did you ever hear that? They
Yeah, I
say
heard
the putanas married the best men. And the good
Yeah,
women
always.
get zippity doo-dah.
So B. Claudia wrote that you were on. She's like a walking encyclopedia of the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. You were on February 12th, 2020, which was literally right before COVID.
Oh, that's right. Before they shut it all down in March.
And we shut it down in March. And we met you at, I don't remember whose premiere, maybe a Churchill's
No,
premiere.
it was a Churchill film with Krista Grant Saxon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Nation's Fire.
That's the one.
Nation's Fire. Yes.
Nations Under Fire. Nation's Fire. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
that was so fun. So the first time we had you on, I mean, you have a unique story, and I want you to tell the unique story, just like kind of like capitalize it, because one of the things that is so cool about you, besides the fact that all the things that you do are cool, but you have a unique story of something that you did that basically gave you the keys to the city. And I want to brag for you, so I want you to tell everybody.
Right
what it
behind
is.
me, actually. They're right here, right behind
There
me.
you go. So just tell everybody real quick your story, because it's an amazing story.
Okay, let's start from that year, 2012, right around December 10th. Okay, I was unemployed. I was working for the railroad, but they laid us off for like 9 months, and I'm like, screw this. I'm not working for these guys. You know, you don't work for 9 months. All of a sudden, you want to call me back. I'm done. I moved on. I was involved with a young lady who I thought she was amazing. I everything else. Blah, blah, blah. Push came to shove. We broke up right before Christmas. And I kind of took it a little hard because I had given her so much of me financially, physically, and mentally, and emotionally. I gave her so much of me. And she broke up and went with this loser. And, it kind of like really struck a chord. At the same time, my ex-wife that I have my children with decided to up and leave and take my children out of the country. To
how'd
Puerto
you
Rico
do that?
without my consent.
Oh, that's bullshit. She can't do that. It's
Yeah,
kidnapping.
so I mean now, so I'm in the midst of what do you call it? Depression. All right. And everybody's talking about it today. It's all over this thing, mental health and all that. And I'm gonna get to that point right now. I was so depressed because I couldn't have my kids. I didn't have my kids around anymore, that I started to drink heavily. And I'm talking the 2 big bottles of the Bacardi Gold. I drank 2 a day with at least a case of beer. Cocaine was my avenue of forgetting, but it was kind of funny because once the high came down, whatever I remembered, it came back tenfold. So I'd have to do more cocaine to forget. I got to a point where everything was just failing. And I was sitting at home with my, but now passed on English Bulldog Diesel. And I put a gun in my mouth.
Oh,
and I was
Jesus.
going to commit suicide.
You're crazy.
I was going to commit suicide, and I tried. I did. I actually
You should have called me. You should have called me.
I didn't know you then.
You didn't know
But-
it.
My platform is for people who want to commit suicide to contact
And
me.
and you know what? And here's the thing about that. I wasn't thinking about. I thought my kids were gone. I was not going to see them. And all kind of things happened. So I actually put the gun in my mouth and pulled the trigger, and it jammed.
It
It jammed. 5 minutes later, I'm over there fiddling with a gun, high on coke, drunk out of my mind, trying to redo because I just wanted to be done. My phone rings and I got a phone call from a friend of mine who I haven't spoken to since high school. He went on to play with the Pittsburgh Pirates. His name is Nick Delgado. He is now a very Christian man and a follower and everything else. And he's still one of my best friends. I got a call from this guy and I'm all coked out and drunk. And he says, "Hey, this is Jose, JR." And nobody calls me JR unless you know me, you call me JR. And I said, "Yeah, who's this?" He's like, "This is Nick." And he's like, "Look, man, I don't know." I said, "Nick, how'd you get my number?" He goes, "I went through your wife and her family to get it from them. I needed to talk to you. And I'm just calling you to say whatever you think about doing right now, don't do it." Which I already tried. And it didn't work. So I was kind of, what is that? The proverbial rock in a hard place.
Yes.
Where this guy come from, I haven't talked to him since high school. I haven't seen him in 20 years or heard from him. But he's calling me, telling me that, that God told him to call me and say, "Don't do it. I have too much to live for." So I'm like, okay. So I think we stood on the phone for about almost an hour. And then I finally started coming down off the high, talking to my really good friend from high school. And I put the gun down. I cleaned up the coke. I cleaned up the alcohol in the cans, threw everything in the trash. And I said, okay, now what? Now what? This is not a coincidence. So about a week later, he calls me and he says, "Hey, me and my family had a dream. We saw you on the big screen, man." And I said, "What?" And I said, "The big screen." I said, "Dude, I'm a former gangbanger, drug dealer, chef. I mean, I'm not a fucking actor." And he's like, "No, dude, we saw you. Me and my kids even saw. We all had separate dreams of us watching you in a movie theater." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's crazy." 2 days later was the actual bank robbery on December 22nd, 2012, when I was going to visit my mom to tell her about everything that I had done or I was going to do and hurt myself. And then I end up in the midst of this armed bank robbery where these guys busted in, shot up the police officer that was in his vehicle. He was bleeding out through his leg. They hit his artery, and they got away with $250,000. So I jump out of my truck, run over there, try to help the cop. He's freaking out. He's going pale. The guy's a Latino, darker than me, and he's turning white. So he's losing a lot of blood. So I tie it up with my belt on a tourniquet on his leg, and something said, "Go get him," and that's what I did. I mean, I jumped back in my truck, followed these guys down the alley. They jumped over a fence, so I backed up. They never saw the truck, and then I go around the block, and they both get into the getaway car, which I followed for about a good 4 or 5 minutes before the Hammond PD and everybody that was surrounding, that was coming to the call of shots fired at the bank, realized that this is the guy chasing down the bank robbers. And so I hit the back of their vehicle. I bumped them with my truck. They spun out. And then all of a sudden, we're all arrested. I mean, we're all under arrest. I think I spent almost 4.5 hours in the federal building because I did have a past. I did have a very, very mean past. And when they put my name in the system, everything came up. I mean, you name it, it came up. Long story short, they released me under the Hammond Police Department authority, the feds, the FBI, and all them, because that's what got involved in the bank robbery. They released me to the custody of the Hammond Police Department, which I thought I was going to go to jail in Hammond. They actually released me to my mom's care and says, don't leave town, and we're going to figure this out. They had $250,000 in the bag. Plus, they tried to kill a cop. And a rookie cop that was his first day on the job on his own.
Oh, man.
Yes. So it was a big story. The mayor reached out to my mom and my dad, and he was like, "Is this your son?" And they're like, "Yeah," because they live in Hammond, and I don't live in Hammond. And he's like, "I'm trying to get a hold of him," and they're like, "He doesn't really, talk to people." And he's like, "I really need to talk to him." So next thing you know, there's Channel 5, Channel 2, Channel 7 news all at my mom's house in front, and I'm like, "What the hell?" And last thing I want is for them to be on the news about what I did and maybe get them hurt. You know, that's the last thing. So my mom was
Right,
just like,
right.
just go. And so I did the interviews. I had a dinner with the mayor, got the key to the city. I got an FOP award for Outstanding Citizen of the Year. The best thing that came out of this story wasn't that I became an actor because I got an agent and auditions. That was not it. The best thing that came out of this story was that the federal government, because it was a bank robbery and there was no reward, so to speak, because the money was never taken, it was on its way. They couldn't do anything for me. So what they did was they made me a ghost and they exonerated my whole record, all my records.
Good. Wonderful. That's
awesome.
terrific.
It's a beautiful story.
So you see, this only proves what I write and say. If you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you will get bad. That's the law of nature. And you did such a good deed. What a wonderful thing to help the cop apprehend those creeps that were stealing the money. And guess what? When the gun jammed, you know why? God wasn't ready for you.
That's right. Oh, there
There
we
you go. There's your key to the city.
Yay. I think that's such an awesome story.
But Jose, you didn't hear what I said. You got up.
Yeah.
Sit down. It's important.
Go for it, Bip.
When we are born, we have a date to die. I believe it's numerology, not numerical, numerology. Your date was not to kill yourself. You have a lot to give people. There's a lot inside of you that's going to make other people happy. You must never, ever, ever have that thought again, no matter what happens. Killing yourself is weak-minded and foolish, because you guess what? As you are dying, you will say, oh, I made a mistake, but you can't go back.
Yeah, you can't come back from that.
Oh, don't ever let me hear that you want to do that again, because I'll smack you all over the room.
Oh no, you know what? Life is so good that from that day forward,
And now you have a wonderful fiance. What is she like? Who is she? Tell us about her.
She is amazing. She's in healthcare. As you guys know.
Oh, healthcare. Good.
Yeah, she's a practice manager for multiple clinics.
Good.
As you guys know, she, I got sick in December of 2020. Well, actually, not December. I was already found out about it in September, but I didn't tell
Wait, I lost you. What did you find out?
He got sick.
Sick from what?
Vocal cord cancer.
Oh shit! Are you kidding?
It was the early stages. I lost my voice for a week, and it came back cracking and doing that. And I'm like, what the hell? From smoking as much as I did before. And I went to the doctor, and he's like, show me all the insides, and he's like, there's only two things that we can do here. You either stop smoking, take this pill, chemo, on the pill form, and hope to battle that and catch it early, because we got it at the spotty stage. They haven't polyped yet. He goes, but the other option is keep doing what you're doing, and we take it out and you talk with a machine. I said,
no,
my career is over if I do that.
Yeah.
So I quit smoking. I took this pill that made me absolutely sick to my stomach every day. Couldn't walk, couldn't do nothing. I met Melinda at the around Thanksgiving, right when it started getting really bad for me. I went from that to 165 pounds, skin and bones. I'm 200 right now. This is 200 of that's what I was, and I went to 165 pounds. My clothes fell off me. It was bad, and this woman spent every night, every weekend, because she lived in Chicago, every weekend at my place with me, watching me, taking care of me. And it was just amazing to go through the 18-week treatment. And then I finally got disgusted and said, I'm not taking this pill anymore. And I just changed my diet. And I went from eating meats and fatty foods and fast food and processed stuff to strictly alkaline water, turkey, chicken breast, raw vegetables.
No sugar.
No sugar. I stopped. Oh my God. I thought cocaine was bad. Jesus Christ. I stopped Coca-Cola and I wanted to just kill everybody around me.
It's true.
But I stopped it. I stopped everything.
We are like you. We don't do sugar or anything. And I feel wonderful. You know, I'm 82. I'll be 83 soon. And
And you
usually
still look like you're 50.
well, not even looking, feeling the energy. If I had good knees, I could be like I was 20 years old, but my knees have gone. But we're going to fix them. And I know that once my knees are back, I'll be just like a young fella because not eating toxic food and sugar, I have an energy level now that is incredible. Before I was tired and now I'm like crisp. Do you feel the same
Good.
since you stopped sugar?
Yes. And I ended up going back to the doctor in let me see, June of 2021. After the whole 18 weeks, I stopped mid 9 weeks into that. I couldn't do it no more. My body couldn't take it. And I give credit. I'm not taking anything away from the doctors or the poor people who have to have that stuff injected into a port. The chemo is by far the worst treatment for that stuff. And those who deal with it, who do it and deal with it, hats off to you guys. I mean, I stopped because I couldn't function. I don't know how strong you guys are out there putting that in your body with a port and pumping it in you. I just took a pill.
I'm very familiar with this because we have a friend right now who has what you had, and he has a port here.
Yes,
and they put the chemo there. In fact, we're having a little get together soon in a couple of days, and he and his partner were coming, but he had to decline because he's on a new chemo, which is really upsetting the hell out of him. And I feel sorry for him. It's terrible.
It's horrible. It's horrible, Ron. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I wouldn't. It was to deteriorate the way I was and to see all this sunk in. And I mean, and this woman stood there. She stood there. And
now, wait a minute. When you met Melinda, right?
Melinda.
Yes. Melinda.
Did she teach you to eat properly and not to eat junk?
She didn't teach me, but she sure as hell jumped on my ass a lot for eating junk.
Good. Thank you, Melinda.
Yeah, she is she's so sweet. She's so soft spoken. My mom absolutely loves her. My dad loves her. The kids love her. My grandchildren love her. I say, you're part of me. I'm part of you. So we have to do this together. So we have to take care of our family. We even got matching tattoos.
There you go.
The infinity ring.
You didn't do what Angelina
That's
Jolie
awesome.
did with the matching blood vials.
No.
Angie and Billy Bob.
Billy Bob Thornton.
They were wearing, I knew Angie since she was a kid, but I met Billy Bob with her, and he was really nice. And they had the vials around their neck of blood, which was quite interesting.
I want to say too, though, it's very cool that she's such a beautiful person inside. She's a knockout, so she's gorgeous on the outside. It's nice that the outside and the inside are the same.
You know what? You really took the right road, and I'm so happy that you chose the right path. Because, as they say, the Lord makes paths for us. And if you fall off the path, he's going to punish you. So you have to stay on that path. And now that you're good.
They all say in the chat room, though, that you should turn your story into a movie and a book.
Oh, I said that on the last show when we made it.
I'll tell you what.
It's a movie.
Get somebody on here who wants to write it down with me and produce it and direct it. I already got the actors that I want in the movie.
It's definitely a Netflix film that we would all love to watch in the comfort of our home because it's a home story.
From streets to stage, streets to sets. That's a story in itself. A kid that came from nothing and tried to end it all, turned his life around, and my construction business is successful. My acting is going well. It's picking up. And that's what I was going to talk to you guys about the new Roman trailer I just posted. The film I just did as a military officer. There's just so many I've done in the last year that it's like, okay, you know what? It's time to go to the next level. And like I tell everybody, and I won't say what shows they are because I can get in trouble. I probably won't get asked to come back
No, I
to this
hate
again.
that.
But
Give
two
us
major, yes,
hint.
you already know. Two
Give us
major
a little
shows here.
hint. Give us a hint.
No, hang on. Well, first of all, I'll brag on some of the other major shows. So you guys,
Let
he's
Jimmy
been on
do it.
Chicago PD. He's been on Chicago Fire. I don't know how do you pronounce it? Chirac or Chirac? Like
Chirac.
Chirac, the series, Kings, Tucker's War, Stuck, which is a TV miniseries. He's got movies that he's done. Concrete Rose with Noel Guglielmi. He's been on our show actually many years ago. God is Missing. God's Not Here. What Happened in Danville? I mean, your IMDb blew up since like the last year. Like at the beginning of COVID, you had a slowdown, but now it seems like it's blowing up. For Profit, Hideout. You got all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Plus, I read on there too. And I don't know if you had done this a long time ago, but you did a Hellman's mayonnaise commercial and O'Reilly Auto Parts commercial.
Oh yeah, that was years ago. Yeah, that was
So
my
you
first.
got a lot of shit. You got a lot of cool shit
I have
going
to
on.
say this, Jose. You're very lucky that today we are allowing ethnic people to be in film. Years ago,
Yes.
you were not allowed because my real name.
We were the Gardeners.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm Latin also.
Oh, the Gardeners.
Wait, my real name is Rolando Sarego. Okay?
Yeah.
When I started in the business, I was Rolando Sarego, and they wouldn't hire me. When I became Ron Russell, I became white bread, they hired me.
Yep.
So you see, I'm happy with what's going on today. We've got all different colors and different ethnic backgrounds. It's wonderful because our world is comprised of many people. It's just not comprised of one race. And finally, Hollywood has gotten it through their stupid heads that in order to please the public, you have to give the public the diversity of all actors. And I stand in for that. And I'm so happy. And that's why, I mean, it doesn't do me any good now because I'm still Ron Russell and I'm 100. But, you know, you guys are
never going to be another Ron Russell.
but you're very lucky because, you know, you're accepted. I was not. And I think had I been accepted when I was young, I would have been a far more famous actor than I am today. I firmly believe that my ethnicity, my look, I used to be very dark with black hair. I really looked like a Greek or a Puerto Rican. I mean, anything. I looked very, very not. I didn't look like Tab Hunter. Or I wasn't blonde, blue-eyed, and Americana looking cute. So it was difficult. But
I would love you to be though a regular on because I really love Chicago PD. That's a fucking great show. Like it would be so cool if you were like a regular on Chicago PD. The Fire one I don't like as much, but Chicago.
I did audition for the police role, but somebody else got it, which is good. He's a great kid. He's a lot younger. He's handsome, more handsome than me. So I mean, kudos to him.
You know the Latin guy. That's I don't know his name, his actor name, but
wait a minute.
Wait. Let me finish because I've got a thought here. The Latin actor who's one of the chief officers, the one who had the drug problem. He was in this great boxing movie back in the day with
John Seda.
John Seda. I mean, he is like one of the greatest actors. And that boxing movie is one of my favorite movies of all time with Brian Dennehy.
Yeah, he's on La Brea. He left Chicago PD. He's on La Brea now.
Oh, I have to watch it. I would watch a show just because he's on it. He's so good.
He's amazing. And you know what? The guy's down to earth. We talk all the time.
That's cool.
Jose, if you shave your face off, you could play an Italian wise guy easy.
Oh, I know. No,
You look Italian. You look Italian. You look like you could be from Brooklyn and you could be a gangster.
Forget about it.
No, really. No, really. You look like you could be an Italian gangster from Brooklyn or anywhere.
Yeah. So I was going to tell you, without saying the name of the shows, but Tommy's on the show. So just so you know, Tommy, if you ever seen the HBO or Star series. Anyways, I had two series regular auditions. All right. And nailed them out the park right away. Boom. I got a call back 10 minutes later. Once they closed the door on the auditions at 2 p.m. at 2:20, 2:15, I got a call back.
Awesome.
And I had a Zoom meeting when everything went well, like we're doing right now, talking, having a great time. Go ahead, do your script, do your audition again. No problem. Boom, boom, boom. At the end of the audition, they were like, "Oh my God, you're amazing. You're amazing. How many followers you got?" And I just looked at him. I said, "What does that have to do with anything?" They're like, "Well, we need to know how many followers you have." I said, "So let me ask you a question now, Mr. Director. or whoever showrunner, talent, experience, and knowledge doesn't go anywhere anymore, right?
No, it doesn't.
Hang on.
Followers. So here's this. They hired for the two audition roles that I did. One was a YouTuber with 1 million followers who does idiotic things out there in the streets.
Yes.
He got it. The other one was a model with 50,000 followers. And from what I heard from a very good source on set, a good friend of mine who happened to get a recurring role, these two sucked. They actually had to take anywhere from 10 to 12 takes per take because these guys couldn't remember their lines. These guys were always on their phones. They were doing lives. I'm like, that's what you get for hiring a YouTuber and a model to be actors.
Absolutely. And I agree 100%. I've got 1.2 million followers in social media, and I can't act for shit. And I could get
I
roles.
wish I had half your followers if I wish. Because
I think it's terrible, though.
Show in LA.
I think that's terrible, though, that's what they put. I know that's what they put the focus on because we work with so many different people, and a lot of them say they didn't get roles because they don't have a big enough following. But
I wrote a movie that we're trying to get produced, and Jimmy keeps telling. I said I wanted Susan Sarandon to play a part, and Jimmy said, "Nah, not big enough." I said, "What? Susan Sarandon is not big enough?" He said, "No, her demographics today are not what they were 30 years ago." I said, "Well, I'd like Lainey Kazan to play the Jewish part in the movie. It's about a Jewish woman." And he said, "Oh, Lainey Kazan's not going to get you any money either because she's not big enough." So I said, "Well, I'm going to ask Fran Drescher. I'll have lunch with her and see if Fran Drescher will play the Jewish woman part." And Jimmy said, "Well, maybe her demographic is." I said, "What the hell do they want? Meryl Streep?"
They want the fucking people in the Avengers. I actually went to.
They want Lady Gaga. They want Natalie Portman. That's what they want.
Natalie Portman happens to be a wonderful actress, but I mean, it's just sad that there is so much talent.
I went to somebody who was interested in financing the film. They said you have to have an A-list actor, and I said, okay, there's kind of like different degrees of A-list, and I gave them people that are like really popular, and they were like, no, that's not gonna that's not gonna do, and not somebody who does a million B movies either, but somebody who's on TV right now winning. And they said, nope, it's not big enough. One of the people had an Academy Award. They were like, nope, it's not big enough. You need someone like Brad Pitt. I was like, Brad Pitt doesn't do $1 million movies. Are you fucking kidding me? Like be realistic,
That's his salary is $1 million. You're done.
No, Brad Pitt gets a minimum of 3 or 4 million.
No, he gets. You guys, I just read an article.
Well, I don't believe that either.
He gets 18. I think it's 15 or 18 million. The guy who plays Thor now gets 20 million. Leonardo DiCaprio, I think, is one of the highest paid. He's like 22 million,
which is ridiculous.
Robert Downey Jr. I don't know how much he gets. He wasn't in the article. They had the 10 highest paid actors and what they get paid, and none of them were under 15 million a picture.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible. It's really
I did read
wasted
something
money.
about Vince Vaughn. No, was it Vince Vaughn? No. Who's Elf? Give me.
Will
Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell.
I heard Will Ferrell casually shrugged off $32 million. He didn't want to do it again. I'm like, how? Okay, first of all, they offered him almost $32 million to do a sequel to Elf. Him alone. How much money are you making out there that you can just turn away $32 million? Wow.
I heard he's not that nice either, though. I actually heard he's not that nice. I don't know if that's
he's very anal. He's very egotistical.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I just finished a film called Clowny, and they were supposed to pay me $25 million, and I'm still waiting for the check. Somehow they said it got lost in the mail. So when it comes, I will let you know. Right, Joe Kelly? Where's my $25 million?
I had an animated film that I tried to work on right before we moved here, and we needed we needed somebody, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get in trouble, but a very famous short ethnic African American comedian. We offered him $500,000 for about 2 hours of voiceover work, and he told us he doesn't get under bed. He won't get out of bed under $3 million.
Yeah.
And there was a time when they were so starving they'd work for $50.
And you know what? Ever
They
since
give
the
you the
whole
same, wait, they gave the same performance for $50 that they give
Yes.
for 20 million.
Yeah,
It's sickening. It's
and,
really
and you know what
ridiculous.
you know what gets me now is that the whole new SAG ultra low budget. Everybody's doing it now. Before when you audition, it was a SAG union project. Now it's SAG ultra low budget. So yeah, they can pay you $50 a day and you're happy. Get out of here. That's not even bus fare or that. Oh, in today's world, that's not even gas money.
Are you kidding me? You can't even buy a lunch at Burger King.
Even I won't work for that.
No. So whenever I see the SAG ULB, I just delete. Every time I see SAG ULB, ultra low budget, delete. And ultra low is ultra low. When they put that M, micro ultra low.
Oh, you got to be kidding.
You know, I swear.
They pay you like $20
Wait. Jose, you're kidding me, of course.
No, I'm not.
I have never seen
Unfortunately, I'm not.
Micro low budget. Yeah.
Mike, when the hell did that
Micro
come?
low budget. It's all over the casting
Well,
networks.
guess what? You know how many people I hear give money to the production to get in the film? They get $5,000. Put me in your movie.
Yeah.
I think that's hideous. You know,
It is,
in my day, 100 years ago, you had to audition. You had to have a reel. They would look at your reel to see if you were suited for the part. You just couldn't say, I'm going to give you $10,000. I want to be an actor. Today, people want to be an actor to show off. It's their ego. They want to say to everybody, look at me, I'm a movie star. No, you're not. You're just a jerk that's paying money to get in a film.
Right, and that's what they're doing
When
now.
you suffer the slings and arrow that I have over 64 years of working in this business, then you're an actor. I'm entitled to whatever I get. I've been doing this since 19 years old. And thank God, in the end of my life, I'm working like crazy.
There you go.
The highest paid actors, it says, in 2021, Daniel Craig, Dwayne Johnson, and Will Smith.
Oh, I knew the Rock.
And they're not really worth it. I mean,
Actually, I have to say, I like The Rock. I like his work.
Listen, they're good actors.
But nobody should be getting that kind of money.
No, nobody's. Listen,
a teacher makes $50 grand.
A scientist who finds a cure for AIDS, he should get that salary. Somebody that's going to make the world a safer cancer. I mean, put that money where it goes. Don't give it to football players, baseball players, and actors. That money is ridiculous. It's
They can get paid well, but they don't need to get paid that well.
The only one I like is my buddy Angelina Jolie, because Angie gives millions and millions of dollars of her money to great causes. So yes, give Angelina Jolie $21 million a movie, because out of that 20, she said, rather than give the government the taxes, I would give it to UNICEF or helping the world. And that's what they all should do. All these actors that make this money, give it to cancer, give it to AIDS.
I have a question for you. Everything. So when you were on Chicago Police, did you get to like talk with Jason Beghe at all? I don't know how you pronounce his name, but the lead.
Jason Beghe. Yeah, we hung out for almost 7 hours on set together. We were in our trailers. We were going back and forth. We were talking shit to each other. Yeah,
love him. Back in the day, there was
great heart. Great heart.
Back in the day, there was a TV show. I forgot what it was about football, though. When he was like a quarterback of a football team, it was called. I forgot what it was called, but I used to watch it all the time. Even though I don't really like sports, but I like sports movies. And it was a weekly TV show. It was awesome. And then he did like Monkey Paws or something. I don't know. He's done some cool like horror movies and stuff. And I always wondered if he was like cool or not, because he's
very cool. Very
he's a tough actor, when he's on the show, he plays the tough guy, so you don't know if they're going to be like cool in real life or not.
Yeah, he's very cool and very humble. He took pictures with all the people, the fans around the set that were out there waiting for us to come out of our trailers and out of the vans. He went out there with me and we took pictures with fans. And I mean, he's a great. I love that. Now the rest of the cast, not so much.
Okay.
No, I find that the actors that
But John Cena was okay, right?
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's my favorite one.
I find that the actors who are professional and have been working for a long time are the nicest. Who I find difficult are the young jerks who are in one or two movies and think who the hell they are, and they walk around causing difficulty on the set. This annoys me when I'm working. And unfortunately, I've had to work with some in my day that I said to the director, like, where'd that one come from? And the director would say, it came from $15,000.
Yeah. He gave me 15 grand. He's in.
So let me ask you a question, because you've done you're starting to do a lot of cool stuff, and life is good. So let's do like a bucket list question: male and female actor that you think you would love to work with that you haven't had an opportunity to work with yet, and if you could have ever been in any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you like to have been in? And then let's add TV series, and if you could be in any TV series, what TV series would you like to be in?
Okay. As far as the woman, I would have to say Sophia Loren.
There you go. Ron likes that. He made a movie with
I
her.
worked with her.
Okay.
When I was 19, I was
Yeah.
in That Kind of Woman with Sophia. She's a deliciously delightful human being.
Yeah,
I love
would
her
have to say
stuff.
her. For
That's
the
awesome.
male, I would have to say, I would really, I mean, before he decides to leave, I would really love to play Al Pacino's son in a movie.
Oh, that's cool because you're the Latino Pacino, so that like would totally
And,
work.
and you could pass
You
very
could pass
easily.
for his son.
Very
Yeah.
easily. It would be very believable.
Yeah.
You know,
so,
He's a great actor. He's
We
a
know
great actor.
we know his stepmother.
oh yeah.
Yeah, his
We're very
stepmother.
good friends with his stepmother, who's a lovely woman, and we should mention it to her.
Yeah, we'll mention
if ever Al wants to have a son, we got Jose Santiago.
When you start traveling out here to work again, and she's at an event because she actually lives in Las Vegas, we'll introduce you guys because she's
Okay.
really nice.
All right.
Okay.
As far as movies, I would have to say I would have loved to have either been in the Sopranos TV series for TVs,
Uh-huh.
but I would have loved to have been in Carlito's Way.
Oh, that's also Al
Al
Pacino,
Pacino.
right? Yeah, that's Al Pacino.
So you have every movie I'm in, I've played mafia all the time because of my Brooklyn accent, and I look like a mafioso. Of course, I'm the furthest thing from the mafia, but now I'm starting to get roles playing not mafia, and I'm not sure about how good I'm going to be not playing the roles that I've played for so many years that I'm so comfortable with. How do you feel about it? Do you like a new role, or are you preferring a comfortable role?
Oh no, I love new. I'm willing. I would love right now, right as we speak. I would love to be cast as a series regular on Yellowstone.
Oh my God, that's the greatest show ever. I have
love it.
mine. I'm
I'm
only
a
in
cowboy at
season
heart.
3.
I'm a cowboy at heart. Everybody knows it. I ride horses. I've farmed with my grandfather. I've ranched. No one knows all that. But if I could get in front of the showrunner for Yellowstone with the picture I sent you with the hat and the beard and the gun and they would be like, wow, this guy needs to be on the show. So a modern day show I would love to be on. I would love to be a series regular, possible principal cast on Yellowstone.
I
Well,
think
you
so.
know what?
Hang on.
Send it out there. It may come back.
We should put your pictures and tweet to them. And
Send
stuff,
it
'cause
out. Send it out. I'm serious.
I'm in season
Well,
3.
I don't have followers like you guys do. I mean,
I'm
I barely got.
No,
I'll
but-
send it out with
no,
you. We'll
wait
do
a
it
minute.
together.
Listen to me. Paul Servino was a good friend of ours. I love, the late Paul Servino.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He said to me that when he moved to Pennsylvania and bought a farm, he didn't get work. So he had to sell the farm and move back to Hollywood. The minute he became visible in Hollywood, the work didn't stop. They kept calling and calling and calling. So in our business, out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
You have got to promote yourself. You're the product. You've got to get out there and show them and tell them what you want. You want to be on Yellowstone? Tell them. Get the word out. Guess what? Somebody's going to think about it, look at you and say, get that Santiago guy. I think he'd be good for Yellowstone. You
So
never
first
know.
of all, I did the costume design for Too Fast, Too Furious. So I met Cole Hauser because he was he was the bad guy.
I love that guy. He's
He's
awesome.
awesome. And Kevin Costner is so great. I think that the actor who steals it is the daughter. I don't know her name, but
Oh, Beth. Yeah.
Beth. I mean, she has
That's
got to be
one
like.
tough bitch.
I think she's one of the greatest actors I've ever seen in my entire life. Over like Charlize Theron and all those people. I think
She's got them beat. She's got them beat.
She's probably
She
one of
can-
the best lady actors.
She can really bring that devilish, envious, spiteful woman. But then you can see her on a Pure Flix show that's a Christian show, and she's playing a humble mom. She is amazing. She is absolutely amazing.
I think it's a great show.
That's how I judge an actor. Any actor can yell, scream, shout, cry, get crazy, get mean, get tough, and horrible. But a true actor does nothing and
Right.
delivers the entire movie. That's how I do it. Less is better. The
Yes.
camera doesn't like overacting, and the camera will show it. There's a wonderful English actress that I think is the greatest actress in the world, and that's my
Michelle
sweetheart,
Dockery.
Michelle Dockery. Are you familiar with Michelle Dockery?
No.
She's by far one of the greatest actresses I've seen in all my 64 years in the business. Why? Because she can do anything. She's so versatile, but she's believable. And that's what I tell young folk when they say to me, Ron, you're in the business a long time. What kind of advice would you give me? And I say, be flexible.
Yes.
Be able, if your director says to you, cry, cry. If your director said, act crazy, act crazy. If he says, laugh, laugh. Because if you can't do these things, you're not acting. Being yourself, your own personality, may not be the character in the script. And that's why you give a bad performance.
She
You
was
have to
in.
bring that character to life.
She's
You
the,
have to-
she's
right,
the star
exactly.
of Downton Abbey, where she plays all prim and proper. But then she had a TV show that
Oh
was
my-
2 series on TNT,
Oh.
and it was called Good Behavior, where she played like a tramp
She
slut
played a prostitute,
Thief.
murderer, dope addict,
thief.
kleptomaniac, thief, potty mouth, dirty mouth. She played the opposite with an American accent, and she was marvelous. I mean, I've never seen a performance quite like it.
Yeah, she's fun, and actually, everybody should watch that TV series if you can find it on TNT.
Yes, we
It's the
want to
greatest.
get. We're
called Good Behavior.
We're
It's
trying
great.
to get it back. I mean, I would love to contact Michelle and find out exactly what's going on, because everyone that has seen it loved it. I mean, this woman is brilliant. I mean, to play that part, she was everything bad, like you before you turned good. No, really. She was, and she's running around with this South American drug. No, her boyfriend is a South American drug dealer. So it's a wonderful story. It's a wonderful movie.
I have to look at it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
You have to watch it.
So-
I'm telling you, you're going to love
So
it.
is season 4 and 5 of Yellowstone good? Because I haven't seen them yet. I'm still on season 3.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, it is. It's. You're gonna if you
I know.
haven't watched 4 and 5 yet, you need to watch them.
I'm going to. I just
If
haven't
you
gotten.
haven't watched 4 or 5 yet, you need to watch them.
All right.
Kevin Costner is another understated.
I'm mad that it's on the mission.
Kevin Costner never overacts. He also does it very low profile. He gets his point across without all that jazz. I'm a fan of Kevin Costner's. I think he's a wonderful
I
actor.
also like so Gil Birmingham. He plays the head of the Indians.
Yes. He's
Yeah.
awesome. He's
So
awesome.
I used to be a celebrity clothing designer, and I actually dressed him a couple of times. He was really, really cool and like down to earth. I dressed him when he was on Twilight, because he used to be on Twilight, all the Twilight movies.
Yes.
So you never know. It's fun to see. I mean, just with you, like with COVID and all the things going on. And I went to your IMDb before I asked you to come on, and I was like, look at all this shit that he's got going on. In a very little bit of time, you added a whole bunch of credits of things, and I was like, good for him. That's why I was like, let's have you come on and like talk about what's going on. And plus, I knew everybody would want to
I
hear
was
you.
happy when you guys reached out, man. I was honored and humbled when you guys reached out. I love you two guys. Are probably out of everybody in LA, and don't get me. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of associates, and but you and Ron have been nothing far of exemplary for me, and I love you guys. I love you guys with all my heart. And I talked to Melinda about you guys. I said, when we go to California, I said, I don't want to go to LA. Screw that. I want to go see Ron and Jimmy.
And you're so welcome in our home.
Anytime,
You
absolutely.
and Melissa, I'll make you
Melinda.
Melinda. Well, I'm old. I forget your name sometimes. I call him Jake. I call him Jake. Would you believe it? Instead of Jimmy, I call him Jake. I don't know where that came from. I'll make you a wonderful pasta dinner. I promise.
I love you guys.
But I really think that you're one of the nicest people that we know also. Good attracts good. Nice finds nice. And I'm so happy that you've turned out what you are now. I'm proud of you. And I want to say bravo, because it took a lot.
Thank you.
No, wait a minute. Not blowing smoke up your ass. This is truth. I know a lot of people over the years who got messed up on drugs. they killed themselves. They actually killed themselves. Or they are today basket cases because their minds are not there anymore. They did so much LSD. And I mean, the LSD they did, they never came back. I had a sister-in-law, Lorraine, who did so much LSD that she was gone with the wind. We went to visit her in a home where she was living. And she said to us, I'm going to Paul McCartney's wedding. Do you want to come? And my daughter Leslie was little, and she got grass from the ground. And she said, here, Leslie, eat this. It's really good. The poor thing was totally gone. She killed herself. Yeah. So for you people out there, if you think drugs are a fun trip, oh, yeah, I'm high, I'm happy, I'm having a good time, you're going to pay a price for that. And that price might be...
I'm paying it now. I'm paying for it now because I have to have surgery on my nose to reconstruct.
Because you burned.
There's nothing there. Literally, you put a flashlight and it comes out the other side. There's nothing in here. It's all gone. And because of that, I have sleep apnea, which now I am getting under control with strips. I don't use the machine. It's too noisy. But, you know, and for anybody out there listening, guys, yes, I'm not saying not to have a great time. But when the drugs run your life, when you wake up and the first thing you need is that hit.
A cigarette or a drug.
Yeah, even a cigarette. And it doesn't matter if it's weed, cocaine, LSD, PCP, crack, crank, meth, and I don't know what the new one is, fentanyl. When you wake up and you need that hit, life's over.
Yep.
That's it.
Do you know who Jane Russell is?
The first thing you do is go brush your teeth. You go get a fix. Life is over unless you stop.
Yep.
I'm prime example. I stopped. I have never went back. I've never done coke again. It's been over 15 years, and I'm not going to do it. I don't care what Hollywood director says. Hey, we're getting high on this set, and you're going to. I said, I'll be in my trailer. You guys light them up all you want. I've been there, done that, and this is a payment that it's $10,000 just to get in there and reconstruct.
Now, do you know who Jane Russell is?
We have 2 minutes.
The movie star, Jane Russell.
That's you.
No, she was friends with Howard Hughes. You know who Howard Hughes is?
Yeah.
She told me that Howard Hughes was so bad on drugs that the drugs ran Howard Hughes. He did not run the drugs.
Yeah.
And that's why Howard Hughes became the recluse, crazy person with the long fingernails and toenails and the bottles of urine. Because drugs, now, if drugs can damage a genius like Howard Hughes, who invented TWA Airlines and everything else, God, look what it can do to you. So please, everybody, to be like Jimmy and I, we go to parties. We're very happy. We don't get high or drugged or drink. We don't need to because we're happy with who we are. And that happiness makes the party a happy party. I would not have my sense of humor if I were loaded. Believe me. I was never a drinker. I did cocaine once when I was about 18 or 19, and I got a nosebleed. I don't like being out of control. Pot, I can't stand the smell of it.
It stinks like skunk.
Quaaludes. That sister-in-law that killed herself, she put a Quaalude in my tea, and I never knew it. And I fell out. We were out to dinner, and my face went in the plate. And they had to drag me across the street to the car, and my head was banging on the cobblestones. And I was furious with her that she did that.
So hang on, because we've only got 1 minute left. So listen.
Anyway, that's enough for that.
First of all, you need to get back on Twitter at least a little bit because you haven't tweeted in a long, long time.
Yes.
Actor J.R. Santiago, or I'm not sure. Actor. They wrote actor.
I think it's
Actor J. Santiago.
Actor J. Santiago.
So you guys follow him on Twitter. His website, if you want to hire him or find out anything, you can go to jsantiagojr.com. His Instagram is official_Jose Santiago Jr. He's a great actor, you guys. He would be an asset to any production you're doing as long as it's like paying and it's not micro budget
not
for $20.
$50. He doesn't work for $50. Give me a break.
And so don't send him.
Neither do I.
Don't send him anything, that's like garbage because we don't want it, and he doesn't want it either. He's a great actor. We're looking for everything that happens to you in the future. We want to congratulate you on actually everything, because so much great things have happened to you since the last time we had you on. And really, please give our best to Melinda and the two of you guys to have the happiest life ever, because we wish it on you.
And I wish I could work with you. I think we have a lot of.
Come back to,
I could play your
California to see you
father.
guys, man.
I could play your father. I could be the head of the gang, and you're my son.
There you go.
I mean, we could
We're
play
working on.
father.
Actually, I'm working on a werewolf movie that's going to have a bunch of people in it that we might be able to get you in. We're going to shoot in Texas.
That's a film I'm on. So there you
Yeah,
go.
so we'll get you in something. We'll get you in something. So anyway, we want to thank you. Have a happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
We'll see you soon, I hope. And thank you so much for coming on. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, Jose. Be
Love you
wonderful
guys. Have a good one.
always.
All right, bye-bye.
Always be as wonderful as
Thank
you
you.
are now. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
All right,
I love
bye-bye.
you guys. Thank you.
Love
I
you
love
too.
you
Bye-bye.
back. Love you back,
Bye.
Jose. Bye-bye.
Oh,
What
isn't
a
that
dear
cool? What a
man.
great guy.
Look at this eye. I look like I got punched. But anyway, he is the sweetest guy in the world, and I'm so proud of him. I really am, that he was in such a down area. I mean, drugs and all that. Ugh,
Gangbanger. He said he was a gangbanger.
everything that, what's that mean?
You're in a gang?
It's a gangbanger.
A gang?
Yeah, gang. I know what a gang is.
A gangbangers, people in gangbangers.
What does that mean, banging? What do they bang each other?
No, it's what you're called. When you're in a gang, you're a gangbanger. That's just
I
the
don't know
name.
these. I don't know these modern day terms. You know. Anyway, he's a wonderful fella.
So now we're going to bring on our second
So wait, I
guest.
want to just say,
Oh,
so anybody out there that has a problem that he had, see, he got out of it and he's back to better. And you can do it too. It just takes willpower, positive thinking, and possibly a belief in there is a hereafter.
all right. Now we're going to bring on our next guest. His name is Vincent
Yay.
J. Guastini. Go ahead and bring him in, Juan. Hello.
There he is, the man of magic.
Say something. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
That's
Perfect.
good.
All right.
Good, Vinny.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, special effects, makeup, creature effects designer Vincent J. Guastini. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you.
Absolutely. So since you don't know us really, this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host Ron Russell.
But I know of him.
Of course
Nice
you
to
know.
meet you.
I don't know you personally, but I certainly know of your reputation because Sarah French doesn't stop raving about you. She loves you, you know. Oh yeah, Sarah.
I love her.
No, she said when I said that you were coming on our show, she said, "Oh, Ron, I love him." So I just want you to know that Sarah French is so pleased with what you do when you make her up, as are many others that have said how wonderful you are, that your work is really good.
Oh, thank you. That's nice to hear.
You
It's
have a
always
good-
nice.
You have a good reputation. That's
So
important.
hold on, too. We have a chat room filled up with people. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hey, everybody.
There you go. So tell us where you're in California, right? I love your
That's
background.
correct. I have a studio behind the Burbank Airport, directly behind there. I've been out here about maybe 17 years in California and 15 years doing makeup effects in New York City, and I'm originally born and raised in Jersey City.
Oh,
Oh, you're from Jersey, a Jersey boy, Jersey.
he's from
Yes.
Brooklyn.
I'm from Brooklyn, and we always make fun of the
Oh.
Jersey boys. So you're an
I'm
Italian. You're an Italian from New Jersey.
That's correct. And my mother was born in Brooklyn. So,
Okay, so she's a good woman.
well, she's no longer with us, but yeah, she was. Put it this way: she was a good woman, but she was complicated. Put it that way.
Well, most people from Brooklyn are good. But so do you know the Wise Guys in New Jersey? The TV show The Wise Guys?
It's a podcast.
No, oh, wait a minute. Yes, is that the that wouldn't be the podcast with the Sopranos, would it be?
I think that. No, I don't know if it's the podcast. No, they actually call themselves the Wise Guys.
They're called The Wise Guys. They're a bunch of Brooklyn guys. They're hilariously funny, and they have a pod
okay.
show that they do. And we like them a lot. We're really good friends with them. Jersey people are nice people because they're like Brooklyn people, down to earth. We don't like fancy schmancy bullshit. Right? Am I right?
We're very, very blunt and a little too honest. And I think that people,
we don't like
and I
lying.
think that, And I think the people from Brooklyn are even more honest. Put it that way, since I was brought up by my mother, so I know the whole deal.
If you in Brooklyn, if you start to tell tales like make up stories, like say like I was walking down the street and this guy walked up to me and said you should be in movies, we'd look at him and say, yeah, really? Where'd that happen? On Fulton Street? On Flatbush Avenue? Where did somebody walk up to you and say you should be in movies, you jerk? And we don't care for people who did that sort of stuff. Talk street honest or get the hell out of my way. And I'm still like that.
So you guys, real quick, you can follow Vincent on Instagram. He's VGP Effects, E with an E, EFFECTS. His website is vgpeffects.com. I'm going to brag a little bit for you, and then we'll talk about some of the cool things because we've recently seen a ton of your work.
No, and I also promised our viewers that I was going to ask you certain questions about women to make their faces prettier, like how they get rid of bags under their eyes, what kind of lipstick they should use, all these little beauty tips that you could give some of these women that are old and not so pretty anymore. Hey, listen, everybody needs a little work.
So hold on, you guys. Listen. Okay, so first of all, you guys, Vincent created animatronic.
I'll answer your question after he. I don't want to interrupt. So.
That's fine. So he created the animatronic wings and creature effects in the movie Dogma, you guys, which we've actually had several all the people from it on our show.
Yep.
Darren Aronofsky's Requiem for a Dream. He made Ellen Bernstein into a thinning, decaying woman. He worked on Arnold Schwarzenegger's film Aftermath. I hope all this stuff is correct. I took it off your IMDb. He was the first use of fire victim effects for Clint Eastwood's Letters of Iwo Jima and Flags of Our Father, which are huge movies. He worked on she transformed Jill Larson into a crazed, demonic, possessed creature in Bryan Singer's The Taking of Deborah Logan, which is actually a great movie. And then I read, I think someplace that you did some of the like finishing work or something, or maybe the LA work on Last of the Mohicans.
No, I did the entire show. I was on that for 7 months. It was my first studio movie, and it was shot in North Carolina.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we have a client. I'm a publicist, and one of my clients is Randy Edelman, and he's the one who did the score for it. Got a Golden Globe nomination for the score of it, and so that's like because these aren't like little movies. These are all like all the movies I mentioned, you guys. These are all big
feature
big studio.
films.
I mean, Last of the Mohicans. That's like fucking like the Daniel Day-Lewis, like one of the biggest movies ever. So, hey, was Daniel Day-Lewis cool? Because I think he's one of the greatest actors, of my generation.
He was in character, but he was probably one of the sweetest, most professional to himself, and very insulated, but very friendly. Because when he does a role, that whole reputation that people found out later, after Last of the Mohicans, where he gets so embroiled in what he's doing, that he loses himself in the role.
Okay.
So I don't know if I worked with Daniel or I worked with Hawkeye. Might have been a little bit of both. But he was training in the woods and living like what those people lived back in that time period for about 6 months.
Wow.
7 months. And after the film wrapped, I heard he had a little bit of a psychological breakdown a little bit because couldn't quite handle that whatever he was doing wasn't real. I mean, so I know that sounds pretentious, and I've heard that story, but it seems to be the way he works, because after he got really famous, especially after My Left Foot, but after Mohicans and everything, he became mainstream. That was kind of his MO for all the movies he's worked on.
I've read that.
Well,
too.
I have a relative who was married to Marlon Brando's son, Christian, and
okay, the one that died, right? The one that died of the overdose, was that the same one?
Son Christian, right? My niece was married to him, and
okay.
And I heard that. Well, I heard stories that Marlon, also being a method actor, had difficulty getting out of a role after he played it. He sometimes brought it home and made people uncomfortable because Marlon always played a very disturbed, tough human being. So yes, method actors do take their roles home.
I think so.
And
Well,
I understand it. I'm a method actor, but I leave it at the studio. I don't bring it home.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, that's something I thought I was pretty well versed with Marlon Brando, but you would know better because the thing is, every interview you've seen him with, he sounds like he doesn't take it very seriously, and doesn't take it home, and is always putting the industry down. So that's kind of a surprise. It's something I've learned that I didn't know.
When Marlon Brando was the opposite of what you saw on screen. In his real world, Marlon Brando was a very timid, shy, soft-spoken, very kind human being. He never played what he played in Streetcar Named Desire or On the Waterfront. That was his acting. And he had to work hard at being that person. As you know, he was a bisexual. He had a love affair with Wally Cox. And he was, he was very, very multiple personality. And and also our very dear friend who is Lorene Landon went out with Christian after he divorced Mary, my niece. So she had a lot to say about Marlon. And Marlon Brando was a very interesting human being. He never got out of bed. He ate like an animal and got to be enormously big. And he was self-destructive. And so Marlon Brando, they should really do a life story on him. Somebody should write the truth about Marlon. It would make a wonderful movie because he was a very complex actor.
So
but a nice person. He was a kind man.
Let's go back to you. So how long have you been doing how old were you when you decided, oh my God, I want to make Creed? Because I'm looking at the stuff behind you, which is just freaking amazing. And are you in your studio or is that kind of like your playroom?
This is my bedroom. No, it's my studio.
Do you how old were you when you thought, oh my God, is there a certain movie or something that made you think, oh my God, I want to make Creatures?
Well, I mean, when I was younger, I felt I was going to be a director, and eventually I kind of went into that a little bit. We'll get into that later, but as far as the effects wise, probably watching Ray Harryhausen movies and Godzilla movies and Clash of the Titans and Eye of Sinbad, all the Sinbad movies that Ray Harryhausen did effects for, and then later it graduated into the 80s. Of course, Planet of the Apes was a big influence because my father would take me to all the movies that came out, and saw all the ape movies. And then eventually in the 80s, with American Werewolf and The Howling, I started going, you know what? I think I want to do effects. And then when I finally saw John Carpenter's The Thing,
oh, great movie!
And I was in the audience at the State Theater in Jersey City. I was pissed off at my then ex-wife. I had a big fight. I was working at a restaurant. I was walking by this poster. I saw The Thing on there, and it was this cheesy poster with light coming out of a guy's head. And I'm like, well, I mean, this, let me see if I can get my mood a little bit better. And I saw this shitty poster. At first, I thought shitty to me at the time. Now I love it. But I go in, and then when the blood test scene happens, there was an audience member behind me who grabbed his seat and he went, Jesus effing Christ, when the guy hit the ceiling. And when I looked at the reaction to what he was watching on the screen is when I said, I want to get that reaction out of something I can do. And it looked like that the movies was a platform that is, if you get lucky enough to be in a movie that gets released and everybody gets to see it, that your work can make certain people have a reaction to it or have a certain feeling towards the image or whatever they're seeing on film. So that was it. I was in. That was it.
Hey, Vinny, your work only makes the actor better. In other words, you and the actor are in partnership, because if I walk into a room and I was on a Churchill movie, and it was called The Big Friggin' Rat. And special effects made this enormous rat, like a Volkswagen side. It was disgusting looking. And I went on the set at 5:30 in the morning in the dark. And there the red eyes are of this big, huge rat. And it scared the hell out of me. And I said, oh, my God, I got to get eaten by that today sometime. So if we don't have a great effect, we laugh at it. I mean, I don't want some ugly, stupid doll coming after me that I'm supposed to be frightened about, right? So you got to scare me. If you scare the actor, you're giving us an easy job. So I really believe I'm going to hire you for my movie, The Curse of Magic. No, really, I'm serious, because your credentials are outstanding, and I really want. It's an A1 movie. I'm hoping for Fran Drescher to star with me and a few other people. So I want the best of there is, and you're the best, I understand, from so many people. And I
would say I might be one of the best. I don't know. I call myself either the Andy Garcia of the makeup effects industry. So I kind of equate myself. You know, it's like actors. You know, Rick Baker was the Marlon Brando of effects.
I knew Rick Baker when I was at Universal Studios. I knew Rick. I had lunch with him one time in the commissary. And Baker was an incredible guy. He was the first one to do what's that called? Plastic shit. What is it called?
Polyurethane or something?
No, that what you all use now. He invented it.
Oh, I don't know.
I think what you're trying to get at is that he was the first one to do an on-camera, fully, besides Rob Bottin and The Howling, a transformation with change-o heads, which he came up with that technique, which was later used in The Howling, where people stretch and transform.
What I was saying is he was the first one to work, I believe, with latex. He was one of the...
No. He always used foam latex. There was the silicone, but silicone was introduced by another man from Canada called Gordon Smith, which later Dick Smith kind of developed.
Yes.
Or tried to get the secret formula. Nobody could actually, in the early incomes of silicone, nobody could quite get the formula down. We played with it a little bit. With Greg Canham, who I worked with on Stephen King's Thinner, tried to do it with putting it under the arms of making somebody look overweight. So we had like these prosthetic arm things. It was in its infancy in LA, and the only person that really had the formula down at that time was a guy named Gordon Smith. And Dick Smith was trying to work out getting a formula. And I don't know, some rumors that he was still being a little secretive. And other people started putting up concoctions in England, like Nick Dudman, a friend of mine. But then it finally got utilized. And I think to its best that I've ever seen it on a makeup was when Greg Canham did it for Hannibal on Gary Oldman's character, who was messed up with, cutting his face up. And that was probably the first time that was really introduced successfully. But Rick Baker was an innovator with the change-o heads, which is making somebody's head actually on camera grow in front of you.
Right.
Using,
you're right. I remember this.
That's American Werewolf in London. Like that was
the first. Right? That was the first really shocker of it all. When you see his arms and his legs snapping out and growing, it was wonderful.
So do you know?
He won the Academy Award for that, and it was under the first time somebody won an Academy Award under the title of Special Makeup Effects. So, which Tom Berman actually got that title in the Academy. He's the one that came up with that title. He doesn't get credit for it a lot of times. But Rick Baker was the first one to win for special makeup effects, to win an Oscar, and it was on American Werewolf in London.
And he was really a nice guy also. He was very friendly, you could ask him any question and he volunteered the answer. He wasn't like annoyed if he was stupid, which I was young back in those days. I was only in my early 20s or 30s. So I didn't know much about what was going on.
Do you know Tom Savini?
I know Tom Savini a long time, very, 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 very well, and know him a very long time.
Yeah, he's like I've known him for about.
So how come you're
years.
such a big shot and everybody's talking about you? What makes you different from the rest?
In one way, I'm complimented that you feel that I'm a big shot. I don't feel that way. I just feel like I'm a fan who got lucky enough.
You're a big shot. No, you're a big shot. I I hear
Go
in the
ahead.
shop, I hear everything. People, for some reason, constantly email me or memo me or whatever, like I'm supposed to. Like I'm Rona Barrett, the reporter. So I know everything that's going on I know everything that's going on in our circle of film. We have X amount of producers, directors, and actors. Sadie Katz, Sarah French, Augie Duke, all these people I've worked with. We're all a family. Joe Kelly, Winston Churchill, Marcel Waltz. I mean, these are all people I know, and they
Cool.
seem
Actually, he did.
wait. And your name seems to come up with these people as a very good name. So these people know better, and that's what I judge on. So I said, how come you're such a big shot? Is it Sarah French running around telling everybody how wonderful you are? That's good. You should give
She's
her.
becoming a big shot too.
Yeah, you should give her a commission because she's getting you so many jobs.
I had no idea that Sarah French said such wonderful
She
things.
wrote it. She wrote it on Jimmy's page
Yeah, she wrote it on our
yesterday.
Facebook page.
On our Facebook page yesterday, when we said we advertised you were coming on, and Sarah came in and commented and said, "Oh, I love him. He's so wonderful."
It's super nice for us to have met you also, which we wanted to meet you at the night of the Tommy Knockers premiere. By the way, you did a great job on the Tommy Knockers.
I love the movie.
We enjoyed the movie a lot. The
That
Mahal
was
Brothers,
a lot of fun.
they do pretty good independent films. They're pretty good. And we've seen all your other Mahal. Art of the Dead we saw.
Loved it.
Attack of the Unknown we saw. I saw Veronica because Caroline Williams is a friend of mine and she was in it.
No baloney. but
Bloodcraft was a great movie with Augie Duke. That's why I liked Augie Duke in the first place.
we love Augie. We love all those people.
Cabin Fever 3 was a shitty movie, but your effects were great, but the movie sucked.
I'm very proud of that film because they had the first Cabin Fever, which had some sort of a very big following. The second one was am I still here with you guys?
Yeah, you're here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, my phone came up with a message about an app. I didn't know what was going on. Anyway, so on that movie was a big challenge. They did give me a very reasonable, healthy effects budget, and I did get to go to the Caribbean for 30 days, which was amazing. And just to do those effects, I remember reading this thing about Ridley Scott doing a movie called The Hot Zone, which was about the Ebola virus. And I heard that when he was going to do that film, this was decades ago, both team was supposed to do the effects. So when I got the Cabin Fever job, I said, I really want to get that. And the movie never came to fruition, the Hot Zone movie with Ridley Scott. So, but when I got Cabin Fever, I was like, I want to do a movie or do the virus as the worst possible virus you could ever have. So we did suits and in stages where the skin falls apart and you could peel it off and people's arms are missing and they're connected with magnets. We had every effects gag in that thing. And the Village Voice said the star of the movie is Vincent Guastini's effects. I was very proud of that review because we worked very hard on that. And it was one of those movies where, I thought it was fun. I mean, I do shitty fun movies. I mean, I do that either because everybody's got to pay the rent, or there's a friend that's a producer or a friend that's a director. And that's how I got involved with the Mahals. Was that Rolf Kaminsky, who directed Art of the Dead, came to me and said, "Hey, listen, I'm doing this movie. It's a Kickstarter film." And, and I had a little bit of a snob in me, a little bit, where I was going, "Oh, God, this is going to be bad."
No,
Kickstarter movie, I'm a And then I'm seeing that, the Mahals are like getting almost, $250,000, $500,000, doing Kickstarter movies. So I was sitting there going, you know what? I mean, this is my friend. It's going to be fun. They're giving me a pretty decent budget to do the effects. I get to go to Vegas. They feed you. They house you. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let me do this. The script was really good. And so it was a lot of fun, and the Mahal brothers were very nice and always treated me fair. And so anytime they had a movie and budget and scheduling allotment, I would come on board. And so that's what happened with Bridge of the Doomed. I was not on set. I had nothing really to do with the effects except supply the effects and send out the stuff and have my guys go out there, because I'm a very hands-on type of person. I get very nervous when I'm not on set, no matter who I trust. So I'm not the type of boss that goes home and watches TV or goes to the studio at 3 o'clock and say, "Hey guys, how's it all going?" I'm actually a guy who's painting and sculpting and molding. I'm involved.
At the red carpet evening, I spoke with one of the Mahal brothers, and I said to him that Joe Kelly was so excited to have played one of the ugly things that you created, because they were ugly looking things with those teeth and the saliva. I mean, they were really like coming out of, I don't want to give the movie away, but there's a scene where they come out of a tunnel, and it is really disconcerting because they look like they eat flesh. And and that's what I found. And I mentioned that to one of the brothers, exactly as I'm saying it now. And they were so pleased with your work. And they said, "Oh yeah, it was wonderful. We love the monsters also, Ron. And we're happy that you got that same feeling, that the teeth in the face looked like they were, I don't know what like,
it was fucking good.
Edie, like,
I have to say, I've probably seen at least 15 of the films. I didn't know they were your films back then because we're just meeting now. But I've probably seen at least 15 films that you've done, and even though some of the films might not have been that good, the effects are always good. Your effects,
and I'm a great
whether it's
fan.
a good movie or a shitty movie, your effects come across. I mean, your effects make the shitty movie bearable, and your effects make the good movie so much even better.
And I'm a great fan of the Mahal.
Thank you for that compliment. I don't think that happened on Veronica, but thank you for the compliment. I really
Oh,
appreciate
wait a minute. Vinny, you don't mind me calling you Vinny, right? I call you Vinny.
that's fine.
I feel like I know you. Listen to me. We don't give compliments here. We tell the truth.
Yeah, if you say shit sucked, I wouldn't say anything.
A lot of people do bullshit. A lot of people will, give you a lot of jazz. They'll bullshit you up a wall. They'll tell you everything, and then behind your back, they'll say, he sucked. What we say here goes, baby. This is the real deal. We don't lie.
You have 2 movies I haven't seen, though, that I want to see.
The Mahal brothers, I'm a fan of. I loved Grieco in...
Tommy Knockers?
No, the other one.
Art of the Dead.
Art of the Dead. I loved Art of the Dead. I loved the whole story. It was like something like a Twilight Zone movie. Everybody out there, please rent. What is it called?
Art of the Dead.
Art of the Dead.
So I have 2 movies
Fabulous.
of yours, though. Wait. I have 2 movies of yours I haven't seen, but I'm friends with a lot of the people that are in it. One of them is Hidden in the Woods, which we've had Chris Browning and Jennifer Block and Electra and Michael Biehn. They've all been on the show. And the other one is Maneater, because I like shark movies, and we're friends with Portia Coleman.
So you see, when we talk,
Wait. I want to know, are those available to see? I want to know if those are available.
He wants to know how come I know about them. When we talk to these people, we interview them about music, filming. I say to them, I liked your camera. It was steady. I don't like these flying cameras. I liked your performance in this scene. And I like the makeup man who did that ugly face. And they say, Vincent, you. That's how we get to know you, is by reputation of all the people that we interview and talk to. No one has ever came back and said you're crappy or you're lousy or you do shitty work. So therefore, that's why I tell you what I tell you. It's based upon word of mouth.
And what we've seen of your work.
Word of mouth is everything. If you get a bad reputation in this business, nobody's going to hire you. So you have to have a good reputation.
So wait, let's go. So are any of those 2 movies available to see?
Yes. Maneater is out there. That was when I was on my deathbed. I had COVID at the time, and I was in ICU. And I was still taking meetings for Maneater. And that was a very, very bad time in the studio. And but anyway, yes, to answer your question, Maneater is available. It was shot in Florida. We did an animatronic shark for that, a giant one, probably as big as Jaws, if not bigger. We did half the shark too. It's only half the shark.
Right.
I didn't see the movie. Maybe because there was a lot of bad memories connected to it for what I was going through at the time. And there were a couple of crew members that actually died during that period, and not due to COVID.
From
outside of-
COVID?
No, one was a heart attack and one was accidental overdose of a certain drug.
Hey, Vinny,
So
tell me, what movie is it that you were on with Sarah that she was so happy about you?
I was on with Sarah on Art of the Dead. That's and I put she got shards of glass in her back, and then I've known her socially on and off at parties, and and there was another werewolf movie that her boyfriend Joe Netter wrote.
Wonderful.
So I know
Joe Netter, woo, can he write? Now listen, I got a quick story about Sarah. Night of the Dead,
Art of the Dead.
Art of the Dead, Jimmy and I were driving in, and I said,
No, that's Blind.
no, wait a minute. Oh, Blind. And I said, Marcel Waltz has got Sarah French, tits and ass, as the star of a movie. I said, how is she going to carry a movie? I just saw her in Art of the Dead, naked. That's all she ever plays is tits and ass. This girl doesn't have the talent to hold a movie. And I was there 10 minutes watching Blind, and I said to Jimmy, oh my God, she's brilliant. Sarah French is one of the best actresses out there. She doesn't overdo it. She's honest. She's an honest actress. And what she gives the camera loves. And I'm the biggest fan of Sarah French. And she's in my movie.
she's really, really good. She's really good.
She has a major part in my movie, The Curse of Magic. And she plays a bitchy, spoiled, rich, snotty little, self-centered, egotistical, narcissistic twat. And she read the script, and you know what she said to me? I love it. I've always wanted to play a bitch. So, that's Sarah French.
So wait, now you were going to ask the makeup.
Yes,
how do
now
you do your eyes? Because we only have 10 minutes left.
I promised women out there that you would help them. If a woman has bags under her eyes, what should she do to get rid of the dark shadows?
Hemorrhoid cream.
Wow.
Hemorrhoid cream. You must get it from Canada because the American one is not as good as the Canadian one, I heard. I know that trick. I use it myself.
That was a trick that I learned on SNL from another makeup artist. It was a woman who used to head up the Conan show and do Conan's makeup, and he always had bags under his eyes, sort of like what I have right here. So I forgot to put my hemorrhoid cream on today. But anyway,
Black eye, my eye thing.
it was a well-known article too. After she announced it in an article about her getting an interview in one of the people, and that circulated everywhere. But yeah, that's a trick to get rid of bags under your eyes, and it lasts a couple hours. Is hemorrhoid cream. And
Now,
that
okay, let's move it quickly. What kind of foundation do you suggest for a woman over 60?
To be honest with you, I used to do a little bit of beauty makeup on Saturday Night Live. I was on there for 4 years. I was Will Ferrell's personal makeup artist and prosthetics man. And to be honest with you, even though I did, a little bit of makeup on Bjork and Jewel and a few of the people that guest starred, I am not really a beauty guy. So my recommendations for beauty would not be a good one. I'm a smart guy. When I do a department head that has beauty makeup, I hire somebody that is an expert at that, and then I supervise either the look or I okay the look. But that's as far as I go with that. So I'm not really a beauty guy. I'm a maker of monsters and creatures and characters.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, but I can answer that question. If you're over 60, do not use a powder or a dry makeup. It'll go in your cracks and make you look old. Use use a creamy mixture. Always shine. Like years ago, people would put powder on their nose. No, today, if you're over 60, shine. Especially if you're being photographed, because it reflects the light from the camera and you look a lot younger. And as far as lipstick goes, use a lip liner always. Get a red pencil, line the outer part of your lips, and then paint the inner part in a strawberry lipstick, and you will have lush, big lips. I used to do drag, so I know all about makeup.
I don't have to. I naturally have big lips, so I'm good there.
Right.
So I have a question. Oh,
wait a minute. If you want to know about makeup, Please, my dearest friend in the world, Janae Montague King, has a line that's incredible. Look him up on your thing there, your computer. And Jeff, I use a lot of DMKs, and it's not, I'm saying it, I'm not lying about it. He's got some shit that comes in a little jar that if I put it on, my wrinkles don't look so bad when I smile. I don't look cracked. I don't know what it's called. Contact
82 though. He looks great.
82.
Okay, hold on.
Contact Janae Montague King Cosmetics.
So real quick, I want to know because we've got like 4 minutes, I think 4 or 5 minutes.
Have you ever heard of his cosmetics?
No, haven't. Sorry.
Because
I have
it's
not.
go to Hollywood. They sell it in that Hollywood store that sells all the wigs and makeup. The one
Anyway,
in Burbank.
let's get out of that. Let's go to the next thing. I want to know. So, with all the horror movies, and we usually ask actors what movie they would have liked to have been in. If you, as a creature maker, what movie would you have liked to have worked on that you haven't worked on because you worked on so many that you thought the effects were super awesome?
Well, of course. I mean, The Thing,
Yes.
or Legend, would be one. Total Recall. So right off the bat, some Rob Bottin effects related films would have been great, but I wasn't even in the business at that point.
Right.
But that's definitely one, a couple projects right there that I worked on. But I mean, I got to work on a few cool things this year too, which was one, a Darren Aronofsky produced anthology called Alien, which was released at the Tribeca Film Festival. And then I did Miracle Workers with Daniel Radcliffe and Steve Buscemi, where we got to do these Siamese twin type of thing, which they're going to augment with a little bit of CGI, but we had to do a whole fake head rig on a shoulder. And Daniel and Steve are producers on the show. It's for HBO. And then another one I'm excited about is a film called Strange Darling, directed by J.T. Moeller and is produced by Roy Lee, who did It and Annabelle. And that has demons in it, and it's about two serial killers, a male and female, sort of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but except they're not spies, they're serial killers.
Oh, I love that. Sounds awesome. I will love that. He might not like it, but I will love
and that's by Miramax. That's coming out, and that's starring Barbara Hershey. And
Hershey.
Barbara Hershey. I remember Barbara Hershey. I met her somewhere years ago in my mind. I don't remember where. I met Barbara Hershey when she was doing something with Bette Midler. They were doing a promo in LA for a movie. I forgot what the movie was.
It has to be Beaches. That's the only movie.
Lainey Kazan's my best friend. And Lainey Kazan was in that movie also.
I worked with Lainey Kazan on a long time ago, back in 2001, on a werewolf movie with Joey Fatone, and she was wonderful. I love Lainey. I got to know her very well.
Her. She's been my buddy for like 40-something years.
She's still with us, which is great.
Are you kidding? I wanted to lead in my movie. I wanted to play the Jewish. My movie's about she's a Jewish bookie and I'm a mafia Italian and we're married. And we go out to kill the Nazis in 1943. You'll be working on this film, so you're going to enjoy it. So you'll be working with Lainey again. I love Lainey.
I want to just make
she's my age.
We only have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes.
Lainey's 82, just like me.
For me as a kid, the first movie that I saw growing up that I was allowed to go see by myself without my parents was Phantasm, and I always thought the effects. I'm sure they're very cheesy now, but like when
I mean, the finger in the box is probably the most realistic finger, and it was made out of some weird materials that looked like silicone. And I mean that looked absolutely fantastic. I mean, it still holds up today. I still look at that finger, and I know it's just a finger, but it's a puppeteered fake finger in the box, and it's amazing.
I love that. I'm friends with Michael Baldwin, or I have been for like a long time, so I love it. So let's give everybody your thing. So you guys can follow Vincent on Instagram, VGP Effects, EFFECTS. His website is VGPeffects.com. Check out all the cool movies that he's done. Big movies, small movies, every movie.
All the stars he's worked with. He worked with major Hollywood stars, big guys.
And we want to congratulate you on all your success. We're so happy to have finally now got to meet you, so we can we run in the same circle, just so we didn't know each other. So it's very cool. And congratulations on all the great work that you've done, and we're hoping to employ you sometime soon.
And looking
Oh, that'd
forward.
be great, guys. It was so nice meeting you guys.
Look, I'm looking forward to working with you because your job is going to make me look 19. You think you could do it?
Let me get back to you on that one.
So, Vincent, thank you so much.
Take care,
Hope 2023
Vincent.
is a great year we had. It was a
Happy New
pleasure having
Year.
you on the show. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
See you
Bye,
soon, buddy.
guys. Love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I
Buddy.
appreciate it.
You're a nice fella. I'm going to love
Bye.
working with
Bye-bye.
this.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Chat room, thank you. We'll see you guys next
Next
weekend.
week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Missing past episodes, download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.